internet company is doing a little bit of work on the island at the moment to upgrade us for 5G next year.
Okay.
So we're expecting to have really good internet next year, but at the moment, it's some days it's perfectly fine, some days it's not. So I do apologize for that.
No problem.
No problem. But you can introduce yourself to our viewers.
Yes, no problem at all. So just tell me a little about so which one's Ken? Ken, how you going? Mark and the gentleman sitting next to you?
Anders.
And, well, nice to meet you both.
Yeah.
An absolute pleasure. My name is Mark Bruce. I'm the brand home manager here at Jura Whiskey or Jura Distillery. So living and working on the island. And I guess the main part of my job or role here is to ensure that everyone that comes to Jura to make that special effort to come all this way has a superb and unforgettable experience, not just here with us at Jura Whiskey, but every wonderful island has to offer. So we do everything we can to make sure that those that make the effort have a great time. How about yourselves?
That sounds fine. We're doing our whiskey blog, what do you call it?
Yeah.
Vlog,
yes.
here in Sweden.
Yes.
And I think we're one of the few that's doing video in Swedish.
Nice.
Yeah. Mark, can I ask you, how do you get in the industry?
How did I get in the industry, Ken?
Yeah.
Well, I started out working with a company called William Grant and Sons. So you'll know those guys through Glenfiddich and Balvenie, Hendrix, and a number of other wonderful brands that they do. And that all sort of started for me in London through sales, so selling whiskey and gin and vodka into bars and restaurants. And then a couple of years later, I was doing the same thing for White and Mackay for a few years before being given the opportunity to apply for the role up here on Jura. And my heart since joining our wonderful industry has always been with the production side of things, or at least the opportunity to work closer to where we make whiskey. So when this opportunity came up, I put my hand up, and I guess I was the lucky person that got the job.
Okay, and now you're living on Jura. You living on the island?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I live in a house which it's about a 40-second walk from the distillery. So yeah, I walk outside my door, I turn left, walk down the hill. I can smell, the fermenting washbacks up in the tun room. I can hear the hiss of the stills, and I'm sort of my hand reaches out and I'm through the office door.
Okay, nice.
How many are there living on Jura?
How many people? So we generally go with the number of 212, and that fluctuates, up and down a little bit. For example, a couple of months ago, we had a wonderful little girl born here called Penny. So at the moment, we're 213, 214, but people come and go, so it sort of fluctuates.
Yeah, okay.
17 of them work here at the Jura Distillery. So we are the second largest employer on the island during the spring, summer, and all year round we remain the largest employer on the island.
Okay. You're talking about the visitors coming to you.
Yeah.
Swedish ones?
Yeah, we do get a load of Swedish visitors. I would say that in terms of rank of countries, Sweden would be probably in the top 6 or 7. So you guys, there's a lot of you guys that come over and visit us. Big fans of the whiskey. You also spend lots of money as well, which is great. So, yeah, you guys seem to bring lots of money, which is cool. But no, we get lots of Swedes every year that are coming over to see not just us, but also the wonderful distilleries on Isla, our neighbours just to the west.
Okay.
I thought we'll talk about your whiskey. Can you say something about your 10 years old?
Yeah, so are we gonna go, I wasn't too sure what we were going to go through, so we're going to go through the 10 and the 12, are we?
Yes, yes.
Okay, bear with me 2 seconds, and we'll dive in. Nice one. Are we pouring ourselves a dram? Yes, we are.
Yes.
What time is it over there, guys?
5 o'clock.
Oh, you're an hour ahead.
Yeah, 1 hour ahead.
Great, okay. Well, look, I assume you're both familiar with the range, and the viewers may or may not be, so...
Please tell us about the range.
Yeah, definitely. So what I might do is sort of start with regards to the new make spirit we make here. So day in, day out, 7 days a week here on Jura, we are bringing in what equates to about 26 tons of malted barley to a specification that we require 7 days a week. That comes in from the mainland via Isla and then across to us on Jura, all via ferries and boats. And for 10 months of the year, we run an unpeated malt through the distillery. Okay? For the 11th month of the year, or 1 month of the year, we run a heavy peated malt. And then for the other month of the year, the 12th month of the year, we basically fix everything that's broken.
Yeah.
So that's generally in the summer as well, and we're sort of protecting the availability of water. What that equates to is that for the majority of the time here at the distillery, the new make spirit coming off our stills is unpeated. Okay, but the makeup of Jura, when it comes down to Greg Glass and the blending team, is all about incorporating just a little bit of smoke into that final blend. Okay. Whenever you're drinking the core range or the signature range of Jura, you can expect 95% of the liquid to be unpeated and 5% of it to be heavily peated, just like salt and pepper we use in seasoning our food. Okay?
Oh, yes.
The 10-year-old is a 10-year-old single malt, which is coming off those stills and going directly into good quality American white oak casks that we're bringing in from the US, the United States, through a number of different partners. And then what we do is we take a proportion of that whiskey out of those casks, place it into Oloroso sherry casks sourced from the southern part of Spain, and we mature those, or we enhance that proportion of that whiskey for 24 months. So what you get here is that wonderful combination of a very, very light and floral new make spirit, which comes coming off our massive stills. We're maturing initially in ex-bourbon, delivering all of that caramel, vanilla, sweetness that you can expect from those casks. And then you're having the 24 months, the 2-year enhancement period of the Oloroso sherry, introducing some of that roasted coffee, almond, and that richness that you can expect with some of the dried fruit characteristics.
It smells kind of a little peppery.
Yeah, definitely. A little bit of ginger, pepper. Lots of people talk about peach and apricot. That's a fairly known or a fairly well characteristic.
Yes.
Yeah, you have lots of exotic fruits.
Mm.
And you can certainly taste the peat.
Just a touch, though, isn't it, Anders? There's not too much to that.
No.
If we were to compare ourselves to our neighbours to the west, so some of the heavy hitters like Lefroy and Lagavulin and Ardbeg, or our neighbours to the east, Campbelltown, Glen Scotia, Springbank. I like to think we're sort of in the middle, if not leaning a little bit towards Campbelltown. And that's exactly where we want to be. We like to be that stepping stone between the mainland and the heavy hitters on Isla.
And when I taste this one, I feel it's creepy. In one hand, it's elegant, at the same time, it's very rough.
Yes.
It's something there in between there.
Okay. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I love it.
Well, I've never been told that before. That's a nice way. Yeah, it's a nice way of putting it. Why not? Why not?
But I agree with you. It's more towards Campbelltown than Isla, and if you're leaning towards Isla, I would say more Bruichladdich unpeated.
Yeah, definitely. Bruichladdich, Bunnahabhain.
Yeah.
The sort of the lighter end of the spectrum. Most definitely. That's not to say that we don't have some big heavy peated whiskies. In fact, the one whiskey that we have available here to purchase at the visitor centre, which is only available here on Jura, is a 17-year-old heavy peated, fully matured sherry finish. Now that comes in a cask strength, so that's 56.5%, and that's big and it's salty, savoury, smoky. It's a real different beast.
Yeah. But because you don't have any only heavily peated otherwise in your range.
In the range, no, we don't. We did, which is probably aware with the former range. But now it's all about sort of finding that balance between the new make coming off our stills and that marriage between that new make spirit and the good quality American white oak, and then looking to enhance or finish our whiskies, finish the core range as we move through. These two whiskies here are great examples of Oloroso sherry finishes. We have a 7-wood which explores French oak. We have an 18 which plays around with some very exceptional Bordeaux red wine casks. And then you've got some 21-year-olds, which is, new oak and a little bit of smokiness as well. So, yeah.
Nice.
If we move on to the 12 years old.
Yeah, we definitely can. It's actually really nice to try these two side by side. What SKUs have you guys got available over there? Do you mind me asking?
We have the whole range: the 10, the 12, the 18, the 21, and what was it called? The 7-wood.
Yeah, okay.
They're all available here in Sweden.
Okay, great. And what are they sort of like over there? Do you find that your fans of the podcast and the show, are they quite engaged with Jura? Are they enjoying the whiskey?
I think so. I think Jura is growing in Sweden, I suspect. Especially after you rebranded the range. I think it's more popular now than ever.
And why do you think that is?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know really. I think maybe people are more aware that Jura exists now. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all the fairs in Sweden, you see a Jura stand.
That's fine.
And I think you can thank Isla, because the Swedes are always looking for other islands, and Jura is close to Isla, and it's an island.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, right next door.
Yeah.
It takes about 5 minutes on the ferry to get across from Isla to Jura.
Yes.
And then once you arrive on Jura, bring a car. Please bring a car. If not, you can take a bus, but it takes a little bit longer. You come off the ferry at Fjorden, our little ferry terminal, if you want to call it. It's a stretch of road. Mm-hmm. You turn right, and you head down a single road for about 8 miles, all along the way on your right-hand side. You've got some of Scotland's finest wildlife, sea eagles, golden eagles, the chance to see otters and seals, dolphins if you're lucky, and to your left-hand side and directly in front of you and all across the road, getting in your way more often than not, are deer. So, as you may or may not be aware, Jura is home to about 5,000 to 6,000 red deer. and it's actually where we draw our name from as well. So the word Jura translates from an Old Norse language meaning deer island. So that's where it's coming from.
Yeah.
But the 12-year-old, as I said, it's really nice to try these side by side. 10 to 12-year-old single malt, so it's 2 years older, and matured again in Oloroso sherry casks for that 18 to 24 month period. Interestingly enough with these two whiskies is that although they're only 2 years apart, matured and finished in the exact same way, I think they're very, very different to try side by side.
Yeah, they certainly are.
More vanilla in the 10 years.
Yes.
And more sherry in the 12.
Yeah, man, how I would describe it, I'd say the 12 more cherry, that dark fruit component, but a little bit of milk chocolate in there for me.
Yeah,
a little bit of coffee as well.
Yeah, dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate, recognizable sweetness.
Yeah.
And on the two, the 12 is where we really start to see this whiskey come alive in terms of being mixed with cocktails or paired with food. From my days of working in London on trade, I did start to see that when you move from the 10 to the 12, there's a little bit more to explore with a 12-year-old, a little bit older, a little bit more complex. And those bartenders are able to pick out some of those flavors we just spoke about, and also pair this whiskey nicely with some of the food.
Yeah. The 12-year is more peated, I think. More peat.
Comes across the speed. Yeah, I mean, in terms of ratio of unpeated malt to peated malt, there's still no more than 5%. It may well be that the additional 2 years that's sort of adding or taking away some of that smokiness for you.
Yeah.
I think it's a very nice dram.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So much sweeter nose, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
Okay. We usually ask the people, do you have any whiskey advice to our viewers?
Whiskey advice?
Yeah.
Oh. I wouldn't dare. No, I think what I would say is I would just sort of align that with Jura whiskey and say that continue to explore the range. This is a great place to start with the 10 and the 12. But if you're willing to give some of the other whiskies a go, I'd say you really can't go wrong, because as you move into the tasting of the 7-wood and the 18 and the 21-year-olds, you're getting 3 different whiskies, all with the same underlying character of our distillery. But you really get to start exploring the skill of our blender, Greg Glass. Now, Greg has had a very successful career so far, and he's probably got many decades to go, but he's come across from Compass Box. He's got a wonderful mind. He's really energetic, and he knows more than you could possibly know about wood maturation and the like. And his influence on Jura whiskey over the course of the last few years, I think, has really helped elevate our brand to the next level. And it's perhaps why one of those reasons when I say, well, when you said that sort of Jura whiskey's picking up in Sweden, it may well be down to the likes of Greg and his team.
Okay.
And just explore some of those whiskies, because they really are fun, and there's lots to look for.
Then I think we can say thank you for the opportunity to talk to you.
You're more than welcome, guys. It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much. Do come and see us as well. Send me an email when you come over. If any of your fans want to come over and get in touch directly.
Yeah, we will.
We certainly will. Thank you very much.
Take care, guys.
Thanks.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks very much.